We believe that people grow as they discover and share truth together. And that's why your second basic commitment as a small group host is to show a teaching video and then guide the group through a simple discussion of that video. Now, you don't have to be a Bible expert. In fact, it's better if you're not. All you have to do is follow the simple steps that I'm going to outline for you in this video. The first step is preview the lesson. Each lesson in the campaign is going to be found online, and it will have 3 parts. There's a video, there's a printed summary, and then there are some discussion questions. And so these will be posted online well before the week that they're used, so you have plenty of time to get ready and to take a look at those things. Now, each lesson is going to be related to the sermon for that week. And so your preparation begins by paying close attention to the sermon and jotting down a few notes and thoughts as you listen. Now, there's also a daily devotional guide that goes along with the campaign, and it might be helpful for you to follow along with that. But your primary preparation is to preview the lesson itself, watch the video. It's short. You might want to watch it more than once. Talk through and think through the discussion questions and think about how you would answer them. And then you might want to review the printed summary a few minutes before your group meets, just so it's all fresh in your mind. Now, we're also going to produce a short video every week that will preview that lesson. We'll go through some of the highlights of the lesson and some of the things to look for, and that would also be a great way to prepare. So step 1 is to preview the lesson. Step 2 is simply to show the video. Now, make sure you're set up in advance to show the video, that you've got the technology, you've tested it all out. And the easiest way to do that is just to stream the video from pursueGOD.org or even from YouTube, to stream it onto your TV if you have a Chromecast or some other streaming device, or you could even open up a laptop or show it on the computer. But make sure you test the connections and test the sound level and make sure the technology works before people come over. But then when you get to the meeting and you sit down, just show the video. You don't have to come up with some original thoughts. You don't have to add your own nugget or come up with your own little lesson. In fact, it's better if you don't. Just show the video and let the teaching pastor there do the work. Now, if the technology doesn't work, it's a helpful thing for you to be familiar enough with that lesson that you could open your phone, open your computer, and you could just go through the talking points with your group if for some reason the technology doesn't work. But the whole point is just show the video. And then number 3, so you're going to preview the lesson, you're going to show the video, and number 3 is you're going to ask the questions. Make sure that you're familiar with the questions in advance. In fact, I encourage you to read them out loud, talk through them out loud in advance, so it doesn't sound stilted or wooden. It doesn't sound like this is the first time you've ever read that question when you ask it in the group. And here's a couple tips on how to guide the group through that discussion. First of all, don't be anxious about silence. When you ask a question, people might not answer right away. And we have a tendency to want to jump in and fill that void. But it's okay because people are processing. They're thinking about what you've asked. Give them a chance to think about that and let them answer. And so don't answer your own question. If you jump in and you ask a question and you're the first one to answer it, you've just effectively trained the whole group to let you do all the talking. And they'll sit back and let you do it if that's what you choose to do. So just be okay with not answering your own questions. Be okay with the silence. And you know what? You don't have to comment on everything that everybody says. You know, one guy might have a great answer and you don't feel like you have to say, oh yeah, that's great, and add your own 2 cents to it. Just let the group respond to each other's comments. And if that's not happening and you need to give it a little nudge, the way to do that is not to add your own 2 cents. The way to do that is just to simply say, hey, what do the rest of you think about that? And then, don't worry if you don't have answers to everybody's questions. It's okay to say, I don't know. You're not there as the Bible expert. You're not there as the teacher. And now you can decide to say, hey, I'll try to find out and get back to you next week if you want to, but you don't even have to do that. It's fair to say, hey, look, I don't know. And what the group needs from you is not a Bible answer man, but what they need from you is just someone who can facilitate the discussion, to ask the questions so that people can discover and process the truth together. So number 1, you're going to preview the lesson. Step 2, you're going to show the video. Step 3, you're going to ask the questions. And some of you may decide in your group to close with a prayer. Many small groups traditionally conclude by sharing prayer requests and praying for one another. But we're going to simplify these small groups during the campaign by recommending that you don't solicit prayer requests. Now, if somebody has an urgent need and they bring it up, it's okay for you to pray for that at the end of the group. But realize that many people in our small groups are going to be newcomers to groups. They've never done this before. So many of them might even be newcomers to the Christian faith. And so we're going to make it as easy and as accessible as possible for those people by not asking anybody to pray out loud. And we're not going to take a bunch of time to share prayer requests. Now, if you want to close the group in prayer, you're welcome to do that as long as you keep it short and simple. And then when you're done with the prayer, or if you choose not to have a prayer, then you just close by saying, hey, we're dismissed now. Thanks for coming. Hope you come back next week. You're free to hang around for a little while if you like. And so here's how you can succeed in guiding your group through a discussion. Number 1 is preview the lesson. Number 2, show the video. Number 3, ask the questions. You can pray at the end if you want to. You don't have to. But these simple steps are going to allow you to help guide your small group through the process of discovering and sharing God's truth together.